Hi, I'm Tyler, and this is the Fox Valley Film Critics. We're here at the Prisco Center in Aurora, Illinois for the Illinois International Film Festival, and we're going to be interviewing a couple of the young directors. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Mike Walensky. I'm the co-manager of the Illinois International Film Festival. The festival has been running for about 12 years now. It's been on for 12 years. This is our 11th actual screenings of films. We've been all over northern Illinois, from DeKalb, St. Charles, down to the city, in Chicago, several theaters, different venues. We've been continuously trying to just expand where we're being shown, the type of venue that we're being shown in, and we're open to every type of film, whether it's a larger studio type film or a micro-budget, independent, experimental, short. We've seen them all in our festival. This weekend, I'd have to look, but I'm guessing there's about 20-ish films, varying from shorts to features, experimental horror, dramas, a lot of dramas, comedies, as you know. A lot of good films, and that's the hardest part, is picking the films. We get so many submissions and we have to narrow them down. And our thing is, I was talking today with somebody who was just like, is there a specific thing you're looking for? And really it's quality. We've rejected larger budget films with actual names because it just wasn't that great. And then we've taken, student films that, you can tell are made with heart, and it's their friends getting together and the heart's there, and you can feel that through the production and the story and how it's being communicated to the audience, and that's really what's important, I think. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. We do it once a year, and my brother and myself, Jeff Walensky, is the other co-manager. He helps support it a lot. He's out in Portland this weekend, unfortunately, so he couldn't be here, but he's been a big support about it, and we've been running this for a long time, and it's always just a real good time. And meeting the filmmakers and just hearing how they've evolved and they're evolving, and being a filmmaker ourselves, it's always been, and being on the other side of the film festival scene, it's always kind of neat to continue listening and hearing all the new filmmakers' stories.
Hi, my name is John Valek. Our movie is G-Man.
Hello, my name is Molly Cameron, and my film is Lakota Girls.
I'm Russell Cameron. I was the cinematographer for a great portion of the film, and also did a little acting and anything else I could do to sort of pull the film together.
Hello, my name is Gisela Meneses, and my film is Intergenerational Stories on Linguistic Identity, Abuelas, Hijas, Nietos y Nietas.
I'm Clara, and I was the co-lead.
All right, hello, my name is Ben Senior. My film is The Routine, as you can see in my shirt here. And I think it's showing at like 3:25 p.m. Do you want to know anything about it?
Cameron and I played the older brother.
Hi, my name is Tyler, and I'm the director of Myself and Me.
The log line is that an FBI agent from the 1940s is pursued by gangsters into present day. So there is a time travel element. Actually, it's not time travel, but it's a parallel universe element to the movie. I wanted to keep it as realistic as possible, but there is a paranormal aspect to the movie.
What kind of inspired it for you?
Dakota Girls is a race relations film that's based in South Dakota and spans 120 years. There are two co-leads, one's Native American and the other is white, and they're both 8-year-old girls. And we follow their story and how it relates to other family members in the span of 120 years.
It's a positive film. It was family friendly, and it was a risky thing to do, and it's turned out for the best, and it's being received very well.
The film is about 3 generations, so how Spanish is basically maintained or not maintained in the home. The first generation, and that would be the immigrant who arrives in the United States, the children, and then the grandchildren.
Yeah, the film starts, a man wakes up in bed and he gets dressed and he goes to work. And he performs this routine over the course of 5 days. The film takes place from Monday to Friday. And as he continues performing this routine, things go wrong. It gets sinister. It's a bit of a sort of a psychological horror thriller type thing. Imagery gets surreal. I mean, you'll see it. I think you'll catch my drift there. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Myself and Me it's a comedy about a man who wakes up one morning and discovers that his house is full of clones of himself. But they may not be clones, they may not be hallucinations, he doesn't know what they are. But the point is, he wants them out of his house, and he doesn't know what they are and why they're there. And the film is about him kind of dealing with this bizarre kind of supernatural occurrence and kind of reacting to it.
Originally, the original inspiration was the time travel element. And then I was influenced by other people who I know who are film buffs, and especially one person who's in the movie who plays a gangster. And he is a noir horror movie buff, and I kind of caught that bug, and so that was what inspired and directed the movie, or I say guided the movie story. So I combined those two elements, the paranormal aspect and the kind of a noir aspect of, which is a common filmmaking genre.
Originally, I wanted to tell a story about my great-grandmother who married a Native American man in South Dakota 100 years ago, and then it spanned from that.
So I was reading about articles. I teach at Lake Forest College, and I'm a professor in the Department of Modern Languages. And it was initiated by conversations in the classroom. What I started to notice and started to read about was that Spanish is increasing in the United States. More and more people are learning Spanish. Non-native speakers, it's basically the second language in the United States. However, among Latinos in the United States, Spanish is not something that has always been encouraged. And so it's interesting how, while on the one hand, we're losing Spanish by the third generation. Second generation, we're still able to maintain it somewhat. But in non-native communities, non-native speakers of Spanish, the Spanish is actually increasing. We also have waves of immigration from Latin American countries which are helping to maintain the fluidity and Spanish as a whole. But there is enough studies that are being done now and have been done about loss by the third generation.
Inspired it. I did not write it primarily. I wrote the ending scene, but a couple friends of mine wrote it. The way I see it is that me as a filmmaker, I generally sort of am, I'm not too keen on the sort of day-to-day drudgery jobs, like the kind of job the man in the film has. And I think that I wanted to show like what that could do to a person, doing that same thing over and over without any like nuance or change. Just I think it's interesting to note that it drives him literally insane, which I mean is a bit of an extreme example as far as that thing goes, but I think it was interesting to show that in a film.
Myself and Me, what inspired it was kind of that the concept came. I guess the concept came first. The idea was, guy wakes up and there's versions of himself in his home, and they're all kind of reflective of different aspects of various parts of his personality. And I guess I kind of wanted to do a kind of an introspective sort of film, that I wanted to do a character breakdown like that, where we kind of discovered parts of this character's personality that he doesn't like being in the open. And it's kind of about this character internally realizing what he doesn't like about himself and learning to kind of move on from those things. That's cool. Do you have a favorite story or experience while shooting it?
There's a lot. I guess I was amazed that because we had a limited budget, we had to shoot on the street, and I was surprised that we had to shoot scenes in Chicago, and I was surprised that the police were they honestly did not even care that we were on the street shooting. I mean, at one point we were shooting a scene and the police pulled right up behind us in their squad car with 2 people. And the actor said, "John, turn around." I turned around and they just waved at me. So that was kind of a pleasant, surprising experience, in the movie making. And that happened probably 3 or 4 times in the course of making the movie. So I guess that was a pleasant surprise that Chicago is such a welcoming city when it comes to small independent films. If you're a bigger production, then obviously they want, you need to get approval.
I have lots of favorite stories from shooting the film. It was nice to be able to work with my husband and my son and daughter, and my daughter's the co-lead in the film. So it was a family story based upon my family, and then also having all of us participate in the film. So that's probably my favorite part of the film. And then the Native Americans, the 20 Lakota, we got to know them and they stayed with us at the ranch, and that was a really amazing experience to go through that in South Dakota.
I really liked filming the children. So you just get such honest answers from the children, and why or why not, or what's important to them, or even if they're not fluent in the language, a lot of them talk about the culture or what's important, or they know the culture. So even the ones in the film who didn't have tremendous fluency in the language, they did talk about culture. So I think I really enjoyed filming the children.
Yeah, actually, with the production, it's very interesting. We finished the film. I edited it, and we brought it to the school because it was a school production technically. Even though I mostly took control, but the school had ownership over it. And I brought it to them. I was like, "Hey, can you share this at the school?" And the school said no, because at the end the character he hangs himself. It's implied. It's not like shown directly, but like the camera tilts down, hands over to the left, and a stool falls to the ground. He's like jumped off the stool, hung himself. But the school wasn't okay with that. They were like, we're not going to show this here. And they actually asked us to take their logo off the beginning of the film, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it. So not a very funny production story, but basically it was like, here, it's your film, take it, we don't want it. Which didn't feel great. But now it's here, so I hope I did something good with it.
I don't know if there's a favorite one. We shot the film over the course of one day in July of last year. It took a full day of shooting to kind of get things under control, and we were able to kind of get a lot of things to work in order. We were able to shoot at the family house and stuff like that. And a lot of the best stuff that kind of came out of the experience of shooting it was just the improvisational stuff. A lot of my comedy tends to kind of come as last minute sort of things, like the horse head joke and the coffee grinds and the last minute post credit scene, where these were all just kind of things we came up with on the spot, and a lot of it just kind of came down to the fact that we had really talented actors and that they really wanted to they had all these great ideas and they wanted to work with stuff.
I'm looking forward to it. I was in the room. It's a nice screen. It's a nice room. I really didn't know much about the festival. I just talked to Mike, and he said that this is their 11th year. And I think it's great. I think there should be more festivals like this in the Chicago area. I'm kind of surprised there aren't. You've got a couple big festivals in the Chicago area, but then there's not as many as you would expect for a metropolitan area this big. So.
Every audience reacts differently to the film depending upon where we show it. We showed it 3 times in South Dakota, 2 times at the reservation before we showed it anywhere else. And our U.S. premiere was at the Black Hills Film Festival. We had 2 sold-out screenings with very large audiences, and we ended up winning the People's Choice Award, which is great for a family-friendly film. To win, and that was a great start for us. We screened at the International Family Film Festival in Hollywood, California at the Raleigh Studios, so that was even a different kind of audience. And then we were just at Bare Bones in Oklahoma, and that was a lot of fun at that festival. So we've screened now in Indiana and South Dakota and then other states. This is our first time to screen in Illinois. I think we're going to have some more screenings in Chicago because our composer is William Cox, and he teaches at the one of the colleges in Chicago, so we're going to have another screening closer into the city. But it's great to come to all the different festivals, whether they're large or small, and I love doing the Q&As and see what the people take away from the film and what questions they have about it. But it's a very different kind of film because not only does it deal with race relations in a positive way, but all of our actors who portray Lakota actually are Lakota Native Americans. And that was very important to me when I cast the film. And then the way that I flash back 100 years in one piece was specifically written so that the younger audience could understand the film. Because my experience with my children is that sometimes when they're younger, they don't understand when you're going from one time period to another. So I did that on purpose, which some of the people have asked me about that, like why I did that, and that's why.
There were some great questions. I forget sometimes that maybe some people aren't aware of what's maybe happening with Spanish in the United States, and so I think what was most enjoyable, obviously, as someone who's made a film and directed, and you've done the interviews, it's always enjoyable to see the audience's response, where the audience might laugh, and the audience members. I mean, we just finished the film right now, so just listening to some of the questions, sometimes not something that I'm always thinking about, and so and I think what's important to me also is some of the audience members are native speakers of other languages, and so they can reference that in their own household, and that's always very interesting. It's a very interesting dialogue.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I want to get it out there. I want to do something with it instead of just have it sit on my computer all day, I think it's good that people are seeing it, that it's getting somewhere, especially because, it's something I did personally. I worked towards this. I mean, had very little help as far as the school went, and, we had very little crew members, but a lot of them weren't, super keen onto this. I think I'm a little crazy sometimes when it comes to that. I went a little bit above and beyond, farther than people thought I would.
This is my first film festival, both being at one and showing my film off, so it's a wonderful experience.
It is for rent on YouTube, and after this festival, I'm going to make it available on Vimeo. But that's kind of what I'm doing this year, which is getting more distribution outlets so that it's more available.
I will. Right now, we're waiting on some more film festivals, so while we're waiting, we cannot do any of the VOD. But we will at some point in the future, but it'll probably be we're waiting through the summer and fall for some other film festivals, and then after that we will. So we have to be really careful with a feature film that it's not available online or will be disqualified from most of the festivals.
I'm working on that, so I'm hoping that will be the case. I mostly show it for educational. I have a previous film that I did, and it's been for educational purposes, and so a lot of times it's shown at local libraries, but I'm hoping to get distribution for it.
I'm hoping to get what I can get. I'm going to keep trying to apply to film festivals, see if anyone offers to pick it up. Anything that I can grab, I'd love to have. Just options in general. I might put it out online, probably not though, just because that seems like last-ditch effort. But I think, just anything I can do to get it out there.
The film is currently available on YouTube, and anyone can watch it. You can find it at the Group Think Productions YouTube page.
No, I'm just happy to be here. It's nice to meet you. I don't really view filmmaking as a competition. It's nice that I know they set it up that way, but it's just a pleasant to be here and to have our film showing at the festival.
It was a great experience, and I'm ready to do other films. I'm actually working on some other scripts. They're shorts, though.
I think this is an interesting experience. I've never been to a film festival before, first selection as well, so I wanted to come in early and see all the films to see what I was up against, per se. I think, as a student, as a minor, I think this is a really interesting experience to have, and especially like an honor to have my film selected here. I mean, I really appreciate it, really.
That's all for this week on the Fox Valley Film Critics. You can find past recordings of the show as well as our film, myself and me, at the Groupthink Productions YouTube page. You can find me on Twitter at AntisocialCritI, that's critic without the C at the end. And you can find more of our reviews at the antisocialcritic.tumblr.com, where we do all sorts of other reviews, including video games and films. I'm Tyler with the Fox Valley Film Critics. Have a wonderful day. Hi, I'm Tyler, and this is the Fox Valley Film Critics. Today, we're at the Prisco Center. We're here today at the Internet. I'm going to try again. I didn't think of this very far in my head. For Illinois, and we're going to be talking with some of their... I'm so close. I'm so close it hurts. Today, we're at the Prisco Community Center in Aurora, Illinois for the Fox... I hope you're having fun, as much fun as I am right now. Where dozens of young filmmakers are going to be showing off their work. But let's go talk to them now. I'm not sponsored, so no. We're going to be talking with the people at the Illinois... Again, dang it. We're going to be interviewing young filmmakers at the... You know what? It's way hard. It's way less hard in the studio. Go ahead. I really appreciate it. I need to think about what I'm going to say first. 1 sec. Thank you very much for that, Mike. Derailed already. Valley Film Critics. I skipped half my speech. Valley Film Critics. You can find more of our the paper. A cheat. Don't cut it off yet. I'm gonna cheat and put the script here.